Sami al-Arian is the director of the Centre for Islam and Global Affairs and Public Affairs professor at Istanbul Zaim University. And he joins me now from Istanbul. What do you think were the specific bits of the agreement that the Israelis didn't like?
It's not really clear because I looked at both drafts, the one that was proposed to Hamas previously, and this one. This one was presented to them by the mediators, presumably Egypt, Qatar, and the United States, and they took a while for them to approve. And the United States has been urging Hamas to accept it and telling them that this is the best deal they could get. And once they accept it, Israel comes back and says it's unacceptable to them. And we look at both versions, the differences are really very minor. It's not that much, which tells me that Israel, and Netanyahu in particular, is not really interested in any kind of a deal. Because has he been interested in a deal, he would have been engaged. And it is unconscionable that the United States has not been sharing with him all these details, because the United States has been the protector and the supplier and the patron of Israel. So the only conclusion here is that Israel and Netanyahu don't want to have any kind of a deal. They want to prolong this war because it's in his personal interest to prolong the war, because if there is a lull, if there is a cessation or sustainable calm, as they call it, then there is a great possibility that there will be an inquiry into what happened on October the 7th. He will be impeached, and there will be probably new elections, and he would probably be going to jail.
Yeah, sure. I mean, certainly it is in Netanyahu's personal interest, although we did hear from those Israelis also saying that, yes, they wanted a deal, but not at any price. I wonder whether you think the calculation from Israel is that they can complete their military offensive, their military goals within Gaza before American patience, as we were hearing, runs out.
It's nonsense, because it's the same argument they've been using from the beginning. At the beginning, they said we need to go to northern Gaza so they can pacify Hamas. And then they said we're going to go to the middle of Gaza, and then we're going to go to Khan Yunis and Deir al-Balah and now to Rafah. And they have never been able to achieve any of their goals. They haven't been able to free a single hostage, a single prisoner, and also haven't been able to pacify Hamas or the resistance. Every time they go to a place and then they evacuate and they withdraw, then from that place, they will be receiving the resistance with rockets and fierce resistance. So it's just a ruse. I think, again, what Netanyahu is trying to do is to prolong the war, hoping that he can sustain his government and also possibly even to sink Biden and get Trump, which is the preference for him in terms of the U.S. elections.
So I guess from what you're saying, the Israelis don't want a deal at all. They want to continue with their military objectives. There's not really any prospect of the two sides reaching an agreement then. In which case, my question is, is there any way to stop this bloodshed?
Yes, absolutely. The ball is in America's court. America has the only leverage, along with the internal situation of the hostages' families, but Netanyahu doesn't seem to care about the hostages. So that part of the
right. So in that case, what levers should America be pulling to persuade Israel to take a deal then?
It's very simple. I mean, they are the ones who are supplying the arms and the funds and the political protection. They can go back to the United Nations and have a UN resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire. That would not please them. They would be in a situation where they'd be violating this. They can go to the court, the International Court of Justice, and they can even get a harsher decision, or they simply can refuse to deliver any kind of arms to them and warn them behind the scenes that if they continue with this kind of attitude, they will lose the backing of the United States. I don't think Israel is willing to do that. I think really, if the Americans are serious about stopping this war, they can do it with one phone call, not trying to placate Israel and try to convince it or give it an advice. That's not going to work.
Okay, Sami al-Arian, thank you for your analysis.